UFC 288 is done and dusted, with one of the most anticipated returns in UFC at the minute headlining along with a high-profile last-minute replacement in the co-main event. UFC 288 on paper was a card which was a sleeper card, with a lot of potential. But did this card deliver on its sleeper potential? Let's find out. This is the Fight franchise and the recap and review of UFC 288. This card before it started was a lot different and underwent some changes up and down the card and had some fights fall through. This meant we had less fights than usual, which shown on some other pay-per-views is not a bad thing as it makes the cards easier to digest and more fun to watch. The early prelims were a load of fun with some exciting performances and brilliant finishes. The card began with Claudio Ribeiro versus Joseph Holmes. The first round started with little to no action, with both men stuck in the clinch. They separated from the clinch and continued to fight back and forth. The second round they clinched once again against the cage with the crowd booing. Then seemingly out of nowhere, Ribeiro rocked Holmes and dropped him with a knee and finished him with ground and pound. The next fight took place between Ikram Aliskerov, who was making his debut, versus Phil Hawes. This was a fast-paced back and forth fight over one round, with both men battering each other with big shots, in what was a competitive fight, with Hawes landing brilliant kicks and seemingly building into the fight. And then out of nowhere, Aliskerov threw a huge right hand, which folded Hawes and knocked him out cold. This was brilliant, as it gets Aliskerov some brilliant hype for his debut, and also was easily a contender for one of the KOs of the year so far. The heavyweights were up next with Parker Porter versus Braxton Smith. These two fought back and forth with big shots and Porter failing to get some takedowns. Porter eventually got Smith down and would eventually land ground and pound to secure the first round stoppage. This brought the end to the early prelims, which saw some fun stoppages and an amazing KO. The prelims began with Virna Jandiroba and Marina Rodriguez. The game plan was obvious for Jandiroba, who wanted to pressure and secure the takedown and control the fight, which is what she done. The fight would be scored for Jandiroba, who won the unanimous decision. The next fight, Chaos Williams fought Rolando Bedoya in a fun back and forth fight with both men throwing big shots going back and forth, beating each other up across the octagon. Chaos Williams took home the decision victory with Bedoya winning all 3 rounds on one of the judges' scorecards. The next fight would be a super fun fight in the light heavyweight division with Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Devin Clark. The first round began very grapple heavy with both men stuck up against the cage and fighting in the clinch, but would break off from the clinch towards the end of the round, which is when Devin Clark threw a huge right hand which wobbled Kennedy and had him covering up, which is when Kennedy turned it around and began pummeling Clark against the fence, which brought an exciting end to the first round. The second round would follow from the action at the end of the first, with Kennedy pressing the action and both men trading back and forth, with Nzechukwu throwing huge knees. This forced Devin Clark to shoot for a takedown, and struggling to get the takedown, Kennedy secured the guillotine choke and sent Clark to sleep. This was a really fun fight once it got going, and it would be great to see what's next for Kennedy, as he can become a real force in the light heavyweight division. The next fight was guaranteed to be fun and fireworks with non-stop stand-up action, and that's what we got. Drew Dober fought Matt Frevola in a fast-paced one-round war, with both men trading on the feet, with both men with a singular intention of finishing the other man. It would be Dober on the front foot looking to pressure Frevola, who was counter-striking and did rock Dober with a Superman punch. With 1 minute left in the round, Frevola tested that iconic chin of Dober, dropping him and finishing him with ground and pound to secure a brilliant win. This was a super fun fight, and I can't wait to see what's next for Frevola in the stacked lightweight division. As for Dober, he delivers so many fun fights. Give him some fun stand-up wars on another big pay-per-view. This brought to an end to some decent prelims and some fun fights. The main card had a lot of potential, with some fun fights that had some sleeper potential. The card would see the return of Kron Gracie taking on Charles Jourdain. With the historical name of the Gracies and calm confidence in the press conference, Kron Gracie was seeming to deliver a big performance. Kron Gracie instead put on one of the worst performances in the UFC's history. After Kron Gracie failed to get takedowns, he would get beat up on the feet by Jourdain. This saw Gracie put in an awful performance, even butt scooting across the octagon. Jourdain won the deserved decision victory, and let's hope he gets a big fight to put on a performance for the fans. The next fight, Movsar Evloev had his original bout on the card scrapped and would face short notice Diego Lopez, who is making his UFC debut. This fight from the get-go was amazing, with back and forth striking on the feet with Lopez like a bat out of hell. The fight would go to the ground where Lopez almost secured the amazing upset, but Evloev got out of the submission. The second round, Evloev took over the fight and showed why he was a top 10 featherweight and slowly broke down Diego Lopez. The third round, Movsar did more of the same and broke down Lopez even more. Lopez did try and and secure some late submissions, but it was too late. The fight finished and Evloev won the decision victory, and let's hope he gets a fight higher in the featherweight rankings. As for Diego Lopes, UFC, get him some more fun fights, as he was amazing entertainment. The next fight, the ultra-competitive former strawweight champion Jessica Andrade took on Yan Xiaonan. The fight would be a one-round fight purely fought on the feet, with Andrade pushing forward, with Yan Xiaonan using slick striking to punish Andrade whenever she got in range. Andrade would rush in and would get knocked out by a huge right hand, which secured Yan Xiaonan the brilliant stoppage victory. Let's hope the talent keeps getting better at women's strawweight, which is becoming a brilliant division. The next fight, a short notice co-main event which had huge stakes in the welterweight division. Gilbert Burns, the most active fighter this year, took on Belal Muhammad, the man with one of the best win streaks in the UFC. The two faced off in a fight many were secretly expecting a war. Instead, we got a 5-round shutout from Belal Muhammad, who fought brilliantly. However, it was found out midway through the fight Gilbert's shoulder was injured, so Belal did have a huge advantage as Gilbert was effectively fighting with one arm. The fight went all 5 rounds and Belal won the brilliant victory and has earned himself a title opportunity. As for Gilbert, his willingness to fight and his activity, he deserves a big fight at the end of the year. Give him the chance to recover and give him the co-main event versus Usman at MSG maybe. The main event saw Cejudo return in an attempt to reclaim his bantamweight title from the hands of the funk master Aljamain Sterling. The fight was competitive, but it seemed that the size and reach of Aljo at the time was too much for Cejudo to handle. This fight looked like a blown up flyweight versus a big bantamweight. Both men had success on the ground and the feet in a really competitive fight, where it seemed whoever pushed the pace would win the round. This saw both men land big shots and have dominant spells, and the fight would go to the judges' scorecard, where Aljo won the split decision. It seemed many fans had Cejudo winning online, however most of the media and myself had it for Aljo. This was a competitive fight which showed some brilliant and high level MMA. It just never reached that blow your mind level of title fight we were hoping for. As for what's next for both guys, Aljamain Sterling is going to fight Sugar Sean O'Malley, and I can't wait for this fight as it looks like it will be a load of fun. As for Henry Cejudo, he alluded to retiring, this time permanently. However, he did leave the doors open. If there is a good fight out there for him or a big opportunity, he'll take it. That brought the end to quite an average card. The early prelims were fun, with some real good finishes and one amazing KO. The prelims had some fun performances and fights, but also lackluster moments. The main card was good, especially the Lopez-Evloev fight, but the co-main event never got going. The main event never hit boiling point, but Yan Xiaonan did secure a brilliant KO, but Kron Gracie did leave a sour taste in the fans' mouth. If we are going to grade this card, it gets a D+. So far the worst card of the year, which could have really been helped and bolstered with some big fights. It doesn't look good as some up-and-coming cards look very lackluster, and with huge names like Khamzat Chimaev, Tony Ferguson and Dustin Poirier on the sidelines, they could really bolster and add to some of these pay-per-views. The start of the year for pay-per-views started brilliantly, and form is slowly dipping with cards getting worse. Let's hope the next card in Canada delivers something special. Did you enjoy the video? Let us know down in the comments below. What did you think of UFC 288 and what did you give it as a review? Put that down in the comments below. And who did you have winning the main event? Also put that down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more fight content coming soon regarding MMA and boxing. We hope you enjoyed the video and we'll catch you in the next one.